Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report alongside Seth Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino as we bring the curtain down on the first half of the official 2025 meet. Another wonderful morning out here. There's some cloud cover, and I've said it from time to time. I said, at the track, that's not an awful thing.
Yeah. No, it's nice. Very nice. I would say it's more sunny than overcast, but you're right. There is a haze. Haze, yeah.
It's not purple, but there's a haze. So how were the two late nights?
Very good, man. Fireworks last night, certainly. The place was talking about the sale down the street. Monday night over the last few years has become the CNBC night. It's wall-to-wall people. Last night was still a pretty good crowd, but less. But there were two beautiful summer nights, and they were knocking it out of the park. I left just before the last few hips, and I missed the $4 million. There was the $3.9 million that was an RNA, and some $2 million horses, $1 million horses. It was definitely.
Did they announce what the reserve was?
I think it was 3.9. I think it was 4 million. I think they missed it.
They didn't reach it.
That's kind of what I.
But they don't announce it. They don't say that.
Well, if they reached it, it would have sold.
That's what I'm saying. But was it 4.8?
No, I think it was. I think they missed it by 100,000.
You surprised you could call the guy over and go, just give me the horse.
Yeah,
for the extra. And I'm always quick because I love economics. I know it's not a sound you hear very often, but I'm a relative because we've been around so long. $1 million isn't what it used to be. I mean, $1 million horse now would be equal to my adulthood of about what, 350, etc. So I'm surprised we've never gotten back to like 10 million because that's equal to about 3 million, 40 years ago. But has there been one sold for like more than 5 million
here
of late yet?
I don't think so.
So I'm wondering relative cost, what the relative price, the consumer price index, what the high water mark is.
It's out of my price range. I know that. But yeah, it was. There was two really good nights over there. I mean, it was good for them and good for the game when that happens. And but just a couple of fun nights. A lot of notable folks in the house. If you went over, you saw big names, trainers and owners and media people, and yeah, it was fun.
One of my favorite from what we do in the media of it is, if I had a horse, like wrote a horse racing column, and I could do it, I'll create a website, is 5, this is it. They always act like this is the end. They never do like 5 years ago, the top 10, what did they do? What did they become? And to me, that's the news. It's like, okay, you have a car that you haven't driven yet. Where do we go? But you never see like 8 years ago, this was the night. These were the big sellers. Didn't run because I think this is mostly true. There's been very, very few. AP Indy comes to mind. He was a 2.9 million when Keeneland used to have the July sale. He's one of the very few that out-earned his sales price on the racetrack. And when I say very few, I don't think you need the whole hand.
Yeah, no.
And no one ever like writes about it again. It's like disposable. It's like went for 2.4, goodbye. Like, and then they become, this is the best. Somebody put it together recently. The 10 biggest, most expensive, and they're not all bust. 1 or 2 of them made it, but the other 8 are just like donkeys. You're like, but
with Green Monkey 13 million. Right?
Now here's the thing with the Green Monkey, he didn't make the list because he came out of that 2-year-old sale, right?
You might be right. Yeah,
He came out of a 2-year-old sale.
yeah.
So he's definitely the biggest
Yeah.
bust for the 2-year-old sales. And I'm not so sure it wasn't 16.1. It might have been 13,
Well,
but I thought it was.
when I said 13, I'm not sure, but it was over 10. And for folks who aren't familiar, yeah, the Green Monkey did not go on to an illustrious
He's
career.
dead, right?
I don't know that.
I
don't know, but
I'm pretty sure he had 3 career starts, right? He had that last one on grass out on the West Coast. 16 million, baby. Or at least that's what Wikipedia was. The Green Monkey was sold in 2006 as a 2-year-old colt for the highest price ever paid at auction for a thoroughbred. So that covers all of it. 16 million. But in relative terms, he doesn't touch, what is this, Snaffy Dancer, who went for 13.1 25 years before him. So adjusted for inflation, that's 3 starts, 1/3. He's dead because it says stud record and death. No. So he's dead. So I don't know. Was not a success as a stallion. It wasn't a success at anything. Yeah. He was euthanized at 12 years of age due to lemonitis. And I've always said, like, because I think, wasn't Coolmore part of it?
I don't know.
And I think the old adage always is, like, with colts, like, well, with fillies, you do have residual value. But with colts, you're still rolling the dice. Now, if it works out, but it's hard to be a bust on the racetrack and get residual value as a stallion. Stallions have to prove themselves. Fillies do not. They have a value right off the bat. Like, I know, I don't know very many commercial breeders, but I know a couple. And their thing is, you know, they keep the fillies and sell the colts.
And that was on the 3.9 RNA last night. Nicole Russo tweeted out, and she writes about breeding used to write for the Saratoga, but now writes about breeding for the Daily Racing Forum.
Does she write a column 5 years later about the sale?
I don't know.
They did?
But she said the residual value, you know, it was a half to journalism. So there's a residual value as a broodmare. So they put the horse up, and if they get the 4, okay. If they don't get the 4, she may be worth.
I can't make that work. I can't make the 3.9 work.
Yeah, well, I don't know how they would work that if it gets close. I don't know if they can run up to the podium and kind of change the rules.
No, once they take her back and the sales company gets their fee.
Oh,
right?
well, we don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if they did that.
Yeah, so I follow Nicole on Twitter. She doesn't do the follow up.
I don't think anybody does. I think you're quite right.
I think I have a list at home, starting with 1984, all the ones that drew 7 figures. There is she's long gone now. There's a mare, Miss Ocean Sea. I think she produced at least $3 million horses back then. So if I extrapolate it, I don't think any mare has produced as many at auction now. Because remember, in the old days, they didn't. The farms that had the blue hens didn't sell them. So it's really what do we say? Commercial is like only 50 years old.
Probably.
You know, this wasn't a thing before. So,
and speaking of that, I think Puka is going up for sale.
Who?
Puka.
Okay.
The dam of the Dornoch.
The very low percentage winning horses.
Well,
is Mystic Dan trying the turf now?
Very big races. So.
Mystic Dan trying the turf?
Yeah.
Yep.
You
get that offer from who was the last Derby winner you can remember doing this?
Oh, Secretariat.
No, the last one.
I don't know.
Gato del Sol? When Charlie got him? So he became basically a turf horse. He was not competitive on the dirt, so they tried turf, and I think they might have run 3rd in one of the Arlington Millions. Might have.
That's where Mystic Dan's going, the Arlington Million.
Yeah, so there you go. Not much money in turf stallions, though. It always amazes me how we have turf racing is popular. I feel, as you like the subset of 3-year-olds, there's enough turf stakes action out there to make money.
A few years ago, I don't know whether it was Fasek or Keeneland that had like a fall turf-centric sale, with turf breeding.
Let me guess, they don't have it anymore?
It kind of, well, that's what I brought. I think it only lasted 1 or 2 years.
Yeah, there seems to be, as much as there's trainers like turf racing, as much as there's enough stake money out there,
Yeah.
but there's no business. You know, lure was an afterthought on the turf. You know, Shug went through the summer, didn't run him after the Reaver Ridge, took Saratoga off, threw him in an allowance race because he was petering out, and all of a sudden we had the best miler America's ever had.
And Cigar, afterthought on the dirt.
Yeah, it was
So
the reverse.
that happens both ways.
You know, well, what happens is you have to flame out. You have to flame out. And now here's something. They both were basically infertile stallions. So the two biggest flame out switches surface become godlike lower G were non-existent stallions.
Yeah.
I would say did Cigar ever have a racing foal?
As you're talking, I was trying to think.
And lure would pop up so infrequently. He might have had 10. Imagine that. That's a good article. I'd be writing that one too. It's like how these two now here's one that most people don't remember. Cigar ran third up here in allowance turf race. I think My Mogul beat him. You can't make this stuff up.
Graveyard of Champions.
He wasn't a champion. He was floundering. And, you know, the story goes, I mean, they basically hustled Bill Mott to run in the dirt race. And next thing you know, Bill Mott wins 16 in a row with him. And he's like a pretty sharp guy. Him and Shug are pretty smart guys. And they basically got pushed into finding greatness. So you had a good time?
Yeah.
Because that's a big... And there's another one you tell me, right?
2 good
But
nights.
those are the two biggest nights, right?
If you didn't get a chance to go, the New York bred sale has become very popular. That happens Sunday night and Monday afternoon. So if you didn't get a chance, you can come up. And again, it's literally a block away from the track, the Fasig-Tipton Pavilion, right down East Avenue. So, you know, come up Sunday, catch some races, go down the street and catch the sale. That's fun. And tonight.
What's tonight?
Jockey basketball. So Rec Center just probably 4 blocks away from the racetrack. Is that why you keep the
sneakers in the car?
That's right. Okay. As I said, I played for probably 3 years, scored a basket, boom, I was out. But I do have Humberto Chavez and Ramon Dominguez from the chaplaincy coming up on Racing Across America a little bit later on. We'll also be joined by Jennifer Kelly, author of The Foxes of Bel Air, Sir Barton and the Making of the Triple Crown, a couple of her books. She's got something else in the works. It's a ways away, but maybe we'll have her talk about that as well. Tom Law from the Saratoga Special will join us as well. And our friend Tom Amello will jump on board also. That's all coming
now, do the jockeys usually win the basketball game?
Somebody said that to me the other
Isn't
day.
it like
well, they get a ringer every year. They had John Wallace a couple of years, you know, which helps them. But no, it's not.
I was shocked they ever won.
Well, somebody said that the other day as we were talking. I was talking to somebody, but it's like they're super athletic and they're fast and a few of them are pretty good. So yeah, they do all right, certainly. Coming up to Capello TV this week. Today we are looking at Prize Wheel down at the Clubhouse Racebook. So if you swing by the Racebook, a little extra fun on a Wednesday afternoon with the Prize Wheel. Tomorrow at the Racebook, $100 play the board. So again, throughout the Saratoga season, lots of good action down at the Clubhouse Racebook. That will include a player's bankroll coming up on Friday. Saturday at the Racebook, King of the Hill contest. Saturday also brings the return of the bounty bet. Again, Lake Pick 5 at Saratoga. Play with your Capello TV bet account. Fan Appreciation Day up at Queensbury. That's a fun branch. We've been up for TV a couple of times up there. So if you're a patron up in that direction, stop by on Saturday, Queensbury branch for a Fan Appreciation Day. And Sunday at the Racebook, it is the Knockout Challenge. And I think it's also... yeah,
it's Sunday, right?
Yeah, it's a Sunday. Yeah, it's a Pick 3. I didn't even have to think about it really
Sunday.
because we didn't. And those entries will open today. I believe. Check the website, but I think the entries for the Pick 3.
I think today. I did a bit at the Queensbury one. Pizza, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was
very
enjoyable.
It's a fun branch.
They have obviously the North Country. Like I said, they had a bevy full of horse racing fans.
Yeah. Good crowd typically.
Yes. Good crowd. So Flavian got days and horse racing Twitter is going crazy.
Again, and then over the weekend, I have to admit, I have to go back and watch Assiniboia, but I did see the one they went berserk about at Del Mar. and the horse comes out of the gate and goes over, and the horse behind him clips heels. And again, you can make arguments either way, I suppose, but I didn't think it was egregious. He comes over and clips heels. Now, we don't get a lot of fouls at the gate, and I can see that argument being made to be consistent.
Not since Sky Beauty was disqualified in the spinaway.
It happens occasionally.
No, they basically at Naira said that after that was it. I can't remember too many DQs at the gate at Naira anymore.
No,
there's no rules.
It's
just right.
But I'm talking all over. It's very simple. But so you can make that on consistency. But again, he comes over and clips heels.
Kind of like a shot at the buzzer. There's really no fouls. You don't get the same call at the buzzer that you get at the 15-minute mark.
And again, I didn't see a Cinnamon.
But I've also wondered why, like,
there too, that had Twitter.
And I always dislike the unwritten rules, or is that the rule? And if that's the rule, and that's what I've said before about, setting the standard as a steward, you call them in and go, listen, just so we know, we're changing lanes now, and show them a couple things and go, this will be disqualifications from now on. But I've said this, this for years. I want it to be audio, the discussions. Jay Pribben is a believer that there should be no discussions because some jockeys apparently aren't as loquacious as other jockeys, etc. But I think it should be audio, and I think the votes should be public air. And I've always said this, in real time. What's the big deal here? Just in real time. And then you get a feel for, you say this all the time about, umpires. It's like, just give me a feel for what the strike zone is tonight. And I can, if I can make it work. So just let the jocks know what's, the herding we talked about before, et cetera, and we'll go forward.
We've talked about it before, other international jurisdictions.
They're tremendous.
They do it.
I think it's some of the best reality TV on earth is when they bring them in and they all look like schoolboys.
Yeah,
they're like,
is it Hong Kong where you actually see the video of them coming into the room and having the discussion?
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like an antiseptic room. It's clear, etc. Time for the DePaula play of the day, right?
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hey, everybody, Steve Bick back with you to start week, whatever it is, week 4. Best race for the DePaula play of the day is the 8th. It's an 8-horse field. It's really competitive, a mile, and of course on the inner turf. It's an allowance, and there's 2 horses that bracket the field. Mike Denny has got notable exchange on the outside. And I'll tell you right now, I bet you that's Seth Merrow's dark horse play of the day. Wink, wink. If it's got Mike Denny, Seth's on it. But I'm going to look to the inside with Derek Ryan, another invader coming up from New Jersey, and still thinking of you. This is a daredevil filly that's actually cleared the condition. And that's also true of the 8th. They both are in for the tag. Everybody else is running for the allowance. And still thinking of you is 15-1. Notable exchange is 12-1. By the way, that's the sale in the background that you might be picking up some audio. And Bafo first night and second night, they say, should be even better. Still thinking of you gets Lascano, who really suits. She gets Lasix back on after trying the Boiling Springs. There's a lot to like at 15-1. There's plenty of pace. Still thinking of you, the 1 in the 8th race, your DePaula play of the day. Let's get lucky. Back with you tomorrow.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group, Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Welcome back, ladies and
He's
gentlemen.
out again. He's on the track.
He's on the training. This,
Well, you will see
here
a
he
loose
comes.
horse.
There he is. Obviously, this is a very serious
Yikes.
situation.
As soon as we went to the DePaula play of the day, there were
Very
yelps
serious.
and whatnot. And
Uh,
he was loose on the infield of Clare Court for a while, and then he got out and he was over on the backstretch, but came back into the infield. And they've been trying to corral him.
he just made the turn
Turn
and
on the
getting
far.
out of our. So
maybe
obviously,
being on the track is a good thing.
Yeah,
because
I
there aren't
would
too many
think so.
escapes from that.
I would think so. So obviously, for all of them, the most serious situation, and as we have denoted from time to time, the famous audience of one of the equine that was the most afraid I've been. I mean, it turned out to be a very docile situation, but it obviously could have been volcanic.
For folks who don't know, we were in here one day, and
Doing
the
the
whole
show.
set, now we have the sides open, but everything was closed except for the front. There was a lot of yelling, so we realized there was a loose horse, and he came over and looked in, and for a moment thought, "Hey, I'm going to join you guys on the TV set," and that would not have been good. That was 3 or 4 years ago.
That was. That could have gone a lot of ways, and the only way it could have gone well was the way it went. We were very fortunate, and this seems. I don't hear the yelling, so I'm gonna guess they got the horse, and hopefully the horse didn't injure himself. He was having fun. He was just doing what horses do. He was just running around, so hopefully he didn't hit anything. But that's live television at Clare Court. What does Randy Moss say to you?
Best set in all of horse racing television.
Also, doesn't happen often. It really doesn't happen back here. There's no siren back here. There's a siren for the main track, but there's a lot of hooping and hollering. So, it seems to be. We'll move on. But if I was guessing that the horse is okay. It's certainly our hope. That was a little scary for a moment.
Yeah,
So,
like I say, once he got onto the track, that was
you're
probably
like,
the
that's
best
probably
possible
good.
situation. Yeah, because there was all he was going to do was run around, and
yeah. And I think they were yelling to let other people know who were on the track.
Yeah.
There's a loose horse. So the last race of the week, I don't think it's double scratches at the gate, and I win. I'm not so sure that ever happened before. Camp David, we had double scratches. We had the runaway, so that you knew that was a scratch. When you come to the track often enough, you kind of gauge how far they run. That's going to be the scratch, and he had run it, and they made, and then the other one.
Did you double scratch into the winner, or the double scratch is just?
No, one of them was my top pick. He was out. Camp David might have been my second pick, but yeah, one of those two. I think the first one to go, but yes, Camp David. The weekend last races were two of the few. Like I said, I still Saturday with Pletcher peak money was it that was 7-2 and paid 9-2. I was like, I thought it was my favorite pick of the day on Saturday, and you got more than less. So
before we go on, I always say when I get a ride from people, I like to give them a thumbs up on TV, and I had a list that I realized I hadn't mentioned because I saw Karen the other night at the sale. And she said, "Hey, remember I gave you the ride?" And I said, "Did I give you the shout out?" She said, "No, I'm giving you."
She's completely dialed into the system.
So Karen gets the shout out. Also, the other day, last week, the gate crew gave me a ride. The gate crew's going down.
How good is that?
That was beautiful. If the race was starting at the mile shoot, so they just took me that far. But the gals from Nitha. I think that's the third ride I've gotten from them. So yeah, if I get the ride, everybody gets the shout out.
But Karen is completely dialed in. No, I didn't get the shout out. Jeez, Karen, good job. No jump today.
They weren't scheduled for every week.
Oh, they weren't?
No.
Okay. So we get 9 races on the flat. And this is definitely the old man get off the lawn. What a glorious gift.
Yeah.
9 races. Let's kick it off. 9 furlongs, claimers in the opener.
6, 2, 1, and 5. Summer Whirl on top for a Graham Motion. a couple of starts this year, one in May down in downstate. Fourth place finish to build on, paired up buyer numbers, but buyer numbers that are going to match up nicely with this group for the most part. Close up second last time. So I'll put that one on top. Castle Island had a better number 2 back, and getting back into the claiming ranks, maybe we get closer to that. A nice win down at the 25,000 claiming level, then went up to an optional claimer, a little saltier company, showed some speed, but faded badly. So I just kind of couldn't pull the trigger off of that. And that nice number 2 back, you can go down the page and find some similar ones, but a little bit inconsistently. So I wasn't quite pulling the trigger there, but I wouldn't be shocked, particularly if you get back to that number. And then Tabagouche, you have IRAD on board. That's the plus. And you certainly have good numbers down the page, but not so much recently. At the distance, the horse doesn't have a win in 7 starts. So I was a little bit concerned on that one. Most of the recent races are shorter. So again, I tilt towards Summer Whirl with numbers as compared to the better numbers of Tabagouche and Castle Island that maybe are a little light, but I just think maybe a little more consistent, maybe primed for a better effort. Opener 6, 2, 1, and 5.
How's this? I have 5 of these horses are going to probably be within 2 points of each other on the board. The long shot in the group just won at the Spa by nearly a baker's dozen, and he's the rank outsider. Good luck. I did the old harness racing, Seth, going 2 turns. I'm 1, 2, 3 in here. And a very, it kicks off the early pick 5. I'm like, how would you invest, like, say, a $48 ticket if you didn't think there was like an 80% chance you're getting knocked out in the first leg, unless you take all, like, 5 of them.
I left off Costa Terra. That one is worth looking at. Capital Gal was the final. Yeah, no, it's a short field.
It's a great race, but from a betting standpoint, I mean, for the whole, it's no easier. Now, this is a race I tell people all the time. I prefer the Mount Everest race, with my types of horses. The opener is my least favorite race. You're 5 deep. I can't beat 5 of them. But a Mount Everest, I prefer.
Yeah, this one's a little more logical. Race 2, state bred allowance runners, 9 furlongs.
And I think, were you calling Summer Whirl in the first race? It's swaggish, right?
No. What?
It's Summer Whirl is right here, right? Summer
Whirl's the 5. Oh, did I? Oh. Yeah,
you like swaggish in the first race, right? Number 6.
For some reason, yeah. Okay, my pages were okay. So let me refine that. Swaggish is on top with the dirt record.
I was wondering what.
Or exact. No,
I double checked my.
And I know exactly what happened.
Okay.
The whole tile fell on the floor last night, so pages 2 and 4 wound up in the wrong spot. So yes, for people,
that's lovely. He knows what happened.
For people who
they fell on the floor.
For people who are going, what's he talking about? Swaggish. You're absolutely right. Swaggish on top. Tepid pick there. And again, Castle Island and Tabagouche.
I was gonna let it go, but I'm like, he's gonna call the same horse in 2 races. I think.
No,
I don't know your picks, but I suspect Summer Whirl is in your mix for this race. So a newbie out there going, boy, they must get tired, boy. That must be. They're running back-to-back races.
That loose horse really got him going.
I'm 256 here, sweet anniversary. Another race, not nearly. It's not much like the opener, but we have 6 going to 2 turns. I don't find the pose position to be, like I said, you'd always rather be inside than outside, starting on the arc of the turn. But sweet anniversary for me, down inside with good early speed. I'll take them as far as they go. Summer Whirl making only the 3rd start since October, 3rd start since May 6th. Rodeo Star for 3rd, 2nd off the claim. The last race, much, legitimate trouble. Now it gets a chance. And I'm thinking here, I'll give it, Rodeo Star for me is very intriguing here, Seth, because he has good early speed. If I'm Manny Franco, it's the 45-degree angle. I want to be sitting in the 2nd wave inside versus the 1st wave 4 wide. So 256 in the second.
And if Dan down in the studio is holding off on the chicklets because of my faux pas, the numbers are all correct. I just had the pages wrong. So you can put up the number. There you go.
I mean, in the first, you did like swaggish to 6, right?
Yeah, and the numbers were right in the first.
It all works out.
Right in the first.
It's just Seth's.
5, 2, 3, and 4 for me here. And again, going back to Summer World, where now with this bunch, the buyers do have a little bit of an edge. So I'll land there. Sweet Anniversary in the second spot. To me, the top two are very, very similar. You have the same top two.
Yeah.
I'm going to look at the board. I don't know what we'll get value-wise with the exacta, but I think this is one where you can maybe box them up if it makes sense. With the short field, I don't know whether it will. But I think these two are pretty similar. And Royal Bobby in the third spot, Linda Rice runner that I think is going to fit in here. I think is better than the latest. They had a turf experiment and didn't go the way you would want it to. Perhaps they get back to the dirt and should perform better. Second race, 5, 2, 3, and 4.
And I apologize. They said loose horse. Did we decide on 2, 4, 6? Is that what we decided on?
That sounds good.
I know it's not the best television, but we're trying to re-get our bearings. Production. Papers falling on the floor. We're making it all work. We'll be right back. I love that. He knows exactly.
I remember when it happened. I remember when it happened. The first two races I had up on the printer. I went to grab them. Boom. They went on the floor, and I just put them back in the
See if he sent me the
order.
pics yet. He's got about an hour. And then I, like Delmar did that. Then I got to pull the trigger and just get him myself. Did you say he was on vacation?
No, that was last week.
Oh, okay.
He owes you what now?
I need Thursdays because I owe you guys it by noon. I've already sent Fridays, but that's the part. Please make sure I don't want anybody wasting their time. In the title, it says Thursday 8.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. 9 race card, 9 flat races. Boy, I'll tell you, Seth, if they threw us a bone and had post time at 1:30, I'd hope my brown hair would return. But 3-year-olds and up fillies going 7/8 out our front window.
And speaking of that, I was thinking of this the other day as I was driving around, and it may have been Friday. Bring back a couple of those Friday Twilight cards and do it in July when it's light out late.
That's all my word.
No, I bring it up because you had talked about it before, and it was just the other day. I was thinking, man, those. But the nice thing about them is, it brings in a whole new crowd.
And I'll tell you, no matter what they say, based on what time we're getting out of here on Saturdays, that I don't want to hear the dinner crowd argument anymore.
Yeah, no.
I don't want to hear it at all. And before our son was born, 15 straight years every day, the people I knew when we had the first one, they were like, this is you. You have been the one voice, because I have that West Coast bias and Delmar does it on Friday. And I said, even when we do it, we didn't do it when we were supposed to do it. It's the first Friday when our bankrolls are fresh, we're fresh, and the sun's up.
Yeah.
I think it would be they talked about the number of people that came Whitney Day.
It was popular when they did it.
Yeah, it was very popular, like 40%. So who do you like in the third? But I agree.
1276. I'll put Whistler Style on top between the entry. I much prefer that one. I've said it before. When I get past the top pick, I'll usually use both halves regardless, thinking if the trainer scratches the better half, I'll trust the trainer to be making a good decision. But on top, I can't really do that because I do think Whistler Style, to me, stands out a little bit amongst the pair. Gets some class relief that I think is going to be beneficial for Linda Rice. Irad Ortiz on board. I think this one is the one to beat in here. But Sister Supreme also interesting on a little bit of a class move that should be beneficial, coming up most recently from Parks. As I say, the class drop, I think, like the top pick, is going to put this horse in a spot to be very competitive and follow your arrow. Yet another one making a class drop that should move the horse forward. Claim 3 starts back. That was back in February for 25. Goes for half the price today. Off a try last time that wasn't spectacular at 25 in late June, but the class drop should help in the third. 1, 2, 7, and 6.
Well, my one thought was, if the entry were to run, would this be a strongly bet Linda Rice entry? Because at 2-1, I almost find Whistler's Style is the part that I want. I don't want the other half. Is kind of attractive at 2-1, and I think if she scratches, and if I was betting, I think she probably will, that Whistler's Style by herself would be about 2-1, but with an entry, how popular they are, I think you might go down to like 7-5 or something. And I don't think you're getting a lot of help from Miss Layout. So it's a difficult position at 9:38 versus 11 a.m. is going to be much different. So Sister Supreme, who is a square price down inside with good early speed, not enough immediately next to her to get out. And the one thing that you see with these new drone shots in this is, even if you have the rail, you have so much room to the left. You're really starting based on where they set the starting gate up, and they don't use the inside one. You're really starting in like the number 5 post position if you look right down the lane. So you have some room to not get buried down inside. Then I have Whistler's Style, and then follow your arrow. Who I agree. I think my first and third picks, I think, are very live at the price. And Whistler's Style at 2-1 by herself would be attractive to me. 217.
Fourth race this afternoon, we will be looking at state bred optional claimers with the winners of 2 other than condition. They will go a mile on the grass.
And I know you had Glenn on earlier. The reporting, the racing form is listing the rails at 18 feet. The changes are usually on the first day of the racing week. It's one thing that I despise that they do in Southern California. They move them during the week, and I'm just like, why, first off? And secondly, that's, give your fans a chance. I'm expecting the rails to be 18 feet on the inner for the whole week. And it might even be 2 straight weeks, but I can't remember Naira changing in the middle of the week. So just take a look at this. I like this race very much, as I've talked about the mile races on the inner, the winner and the 5 others that should have. If I'm correct here, it looks like a 7-horse field in the main body. Carmen's Candy Jar, didn't she scratch out of a race? She was an MTO that came off the turf the other day, where I thought she was going to be heck to beat. But I'm 358, Seth somewhere around there, but you went for the outside horse. Scheduled to break from the temporary rail is Brock Nardini. And I'm going back to the Susie O'Kane race last year. She had only 1 start this year. I need a replication of that stakes effort. Gets Lasix for the first time. George Weaver having a terrific meet. Bobby M's Girl. David Duggan sends out this runner. Only 2 starts this year. 1. Now, according to the buyer speed figures, when running in the Mount Vernon, actually moved slightly forward. But that was the Belmont Stakes Festival up here. We've had 2 months off, and then Red Burgundy. So 358.
I did go outside with the number 1. I went outside, part of an entry. The other half's an MTO, however. 1, 8, 3, and 4. And this is my dark horse play of the day, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both right on Broadway in downtown Saratoga. Stop by, say hello. You'll enjoy your visit. I will admit, I searched around for a dark horse, and you're looking for a little bit of a price, and I was really kind of searching. So I'm tepidly here. I'm a little bit concerned about the post position being on the outside, going a mile on the grass. But that said, it's the 7. There's a field of 7 here. We're on the outside, so it's not that much of an obstacle, I wouldn't think. Comes out of a stakes race. Won a non-winners of 1 other than 2 back to start the season. That was a very nice try. Then, as I say, off of that, they got ambitious. Went in the stake, ran okay, wasn't bad. The number went backwards a little bit, though. Now it's the 3rd start back, and an angle over the years I've liked quite a bit. You get a layoff, a couple of starts sprinting, and then in the 3rd start, you stretch out to 2 turns, and it's been productive. So at 5-1 on the morning line, the Rapoli runner, Manny Franco on board. We'll make Slightly Busy our dark horse play of the day. Race number 4, horse number 1, Slightly Busy. Underneath, number 8, Red Burgundy. Could be the speed play in here. Looking at the rest of the field, I think this gal tries to speed pop the bunch. That's always dangerous. And then Brock Nardini in the 3rd spot. Seasonal debut was back on Belmont Stakes weekend. That New York Bred Day they had, ran in a stakes race there. Didn't offer up a whole lot, but number-wise was right in the mix of what we see here today. And as was mentioned earlier, George Weaver having a very good meet. So for me, 1, 8, 3, and 4.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the late pick 5.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops, my bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race number 5, started the late pick 5. Claimers 2L going 6.
8, 9, 1, and 4. Best impression on top. It's Linda Rice, trainer. 4, owner, Linda Rice. Off the claim for 17.5. Decent run in the claimed race. Had been racing against better, so was kind of shopping for a better finish against lesser. Was the beaten favorite that day. Now moves into the barn, as I say, of Linda Rice. I'll look for this one to be in a good spot. Also gets a cutback, which I think could help. Second spot, Lollipops. Jay Provenzano's Flying P and Company have this one on a class move that I think could be beneficial. Broke the maiden 2 back for 30, followed up for 32. Ran okay. Now drops down to 17.5, as I say. I think it's going to be a square fit. And then another cliche in the 3rd spot for Gary Contessa, taking kind of a steep drop, but does have that debut win up here last year that I think would fit with this bunch. And on the class move, if we get to that, as a contender. In the fifth, 8-9, 1-4.
And Seth, that's what led me to going 1-9-5. Was another cliche who was brilliant on debut, and tried stakes action, which is you go from those restricted maidens to the Frisette. 50 years ago that might have been like what, but the Frisette, as I mentioned, Sutra got what I think is the lowest dirt buyer speed figure to win a Grade 1. And you mentioned the class drop, and to accountants, that's completely accurate. But maybe this is who we are. We found out we're not a claimer 100. I mean, with the elevator, I might have wanted to stop at 35, but I also don't pay attention to there's only 24 hours in a day. I don't have the condition book. Lollipops, it was a toss-up to me. The debut win on track was really the separation for me. And Anointed of God, first off the claim. First race since New Year's Day, 1-9-5.
Race number 6 on this Wednesday afternoon. As we kick off another week, we move to a restricted maiden special. And I pretty much had it verified. Well, Maggie said it on television the other day. She mentioned.
We tried it. We're not trying it anymore.
And she said it was it was either her or Kate. One of them said they did it the first couple of weeks to help fill the field
size.
Yeah. But the New York bred condition.
Iron Orchard decided I'll make mincemeat.
And there another one did the same thing. That same day or a day later. But restricted to auction price maiden specials going 5.5 on the grass.
10-2-4 field size capped at 10. We got the 2 AEs. I'm on the outside with Great Actress making the second career start, an offspring of Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn's had a solid beat here. Devilish Grin, the 2. Amelia Green sends out this runner off getting beat on debut. Was 7-2, was runner up. And then for third, Brock Casso taking a stab at this first time starter. So 10-2-4.
There is a little bit of breeding here, but I wrote at the top of the page, there was nothing that really jumped out at me. The things I like to look for in these races, the win early breeding, the works, races with horses with experience, connections. So I was searching a little bit.
I can't believe we settled on 2 of the same horses.
Yeah.
I mean.
But I went 9, 2, 4, and 7. I put Oscar's Encore on top. Oscar Performance. This year, a little light on first out winners, but overall does okay. There was a sibling called Drum Roll that won its career debut. Nice horse. But 3 other siblings were not win early, but it is Joe Sharp who's having a pretty good meet. Jose Ortiz on board. Again, a little bit of win early breeding, so I'll tilt slightly in that direction. Devilish Grin, the lone racing sibling, was named Candle. 5th, then 6th, then 1 in the third start. Third start is win early to me, and this one looked pretty good in debut. Has a nice little workout as well. And then Braccasso in the third spot. Volatile is okay with first-time starters. Overall, about 19% with 2-year-old firsters. Sibling called Fast Corey won the career debut. Another one called Buck's Vow was 5th, and then 1 in the second start. Both of those were at short prices. So at 15-1 on the morning line, if this one took a little bit of action, that would attract my attention as well. But for me, again, I was searching around a little bit, admittedly. 9, 2, 4, and 7.
All right, we'll take our last break. When we come back, the final pick 3.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady. where the good times flow.
All right, race number 7, the feature, the Birdstone at 1 mile and 3/4. Two things. Birdstone had one of the most unique modern day careers. I think he was one of the first to go right Belmont to the Travers.
Yeah.
You know, Jenna Antonucci did it almost 20 years later with Arcangelo, but that was on her. But if you ever look at his career, it's like, for a horse who was sound, you're like, that's a very unique, but very successful. And the one comment I'll make, and I've talked about the buyer par before, it's listed out as 100 for this race, and nobody is close to that on a fast racetrack. Have at it.
I went 2, 6, 4, and 3. I mean, 1 mile and 3/4 is as unusual a distance in 21st century racing as we get. But Parchment Party has a win at it over a sloppy track and an off the turfer, but has accomplished it and did it convincingly back on Belmont Stakes weekend. So with that race under the belt, I'll go there. Digital Ops. I originally had this horse on top. This horse may be the class of the race. Comes out of a 100 buyer, again, over a muddy track, but a solid number, and has early speed. And we say it all the time. It's counterintuitive, but speed's dangerous in races like this because you get out in front, and because of the distance, they just lope along. So they turn for home and typically have something in reserve. That might be the case with Digital Ops. Lambeth in the 3rd spot. Now, another horse with early speed. And so I think Digital Ops, to me, probably is the one that gets out there. But Lambeth has the potential to push a little bit. And so with Parchment Party having the experience and a little bit of a closing kick at the distance, I went over the 2 horses with a little bit of speed. But again, if one of those sneaks away, watch out. 2, 6, 4, and 3.
And with what I mentioned, that they all seem to be the same horse on a clear, fast racetrack here. So price is everything to me. 3, 2, 4, Game Warden. You know, this is a horse, Anna Marie, who 2 Kentucky Derbies ago was my top pick, was about a year late winning the Isaac Murphy. But, you know, starting at the 5 furlong pole and coming through the stretch twice, boy, Digital Ops could rock them to sleep. But Game Warden, to me, going 2 races back, the Temperance Hill, moisture in the racetrack, did very well, did well in the Isaac Murphy. So I think the foundation's there. I'm in the mix at a good price. Parchment Party is my second pick. You go back to the Keeneland 9 furlong race. That's a good effort. And then Lambeth, as I said, just tough to take a short price in what I think is an even match, 3, 2, 4.
And that one's my fault. The Chicklets, what I read was what I went, and that was me. I typed them in wrong. I have a 2, 6, 4, and 3. I did put Parchment Party on top, just so folks are aware. 8th race today at Saratoga. Optional claimer, non-winners of 1 other than 1 mile on the grass.
And we have 8 in the main body. 5, 4, 1. Midway Memories for Chad Brown. Won the second career start. Entered into the Wild Applause. That was the Independence Day Festival effort stakes race. Now comes back to take on 1X for the first time. For second, Sol d'Oro. Miguel Clement having a great meet. Sends out this runner for the first start since the first week of April. And then for third, Still Thinking of You. Ran in a maiden claimer 32 down at Tampa. This is the first time to claim in there. Tried maiden special weights. Won first time versus winners, then tried stakes action. Now, this is the 3rd race since March, so I'm expecting a good performance at a big price, 5, 4, 1.
5, 8, 3, and 2. And folks may be saying, wait a minute, you went with the 5 and not the 8? Yes, I went with the 5 and not the 8, and I'll get to it. Midway Memories on top. It's Chad Brown and company off a start here at Saratoga earlier this month. That was a stake start. They get back to the more proper non-winners at 1 level, and I think that's going to be beneficial. Irad Ortiz on board. And then I had to put my man Mike Deeney in the mix. But I did look up stats. I'm a Mike Deeney fan, but mainly Tampa in the winter. He does very well down at Monmouth as well, but Tampa in the winter, I really like the Deeney horses. Couldn't leave him out because I think this horse is a real player coming up from Monmouth. But again, the Deeney numbers here as compared to what we get down at Tampa aren't quite the same. So I put that one underneath, but I'll be playing around at a price. And So Darn Pretty, for Brittany Russell comes in off a nice front end score to break the maiden right here at Saratoga on July 3rd. And again, I think speed will be potent in with this group in the 8th, 5, 8, 3, and 2.
No, wait till you see this next race. Sprinters, state bred, 2-year-old fillies.
10, 11, 6, and 7 for me. I put St. Bridget's Cross on top. There's a sibling called Awesome Sunday that won the career debut. Another sibling, One More Time Around, won the career debut. So there's some win early. Leinster is fairly new. 7 first-time starters, a couple of wins, a second and a third. So pretty good numbers there. George Weaver, as we mentioned earlier, having a very good meet, does well with first-time starters. Also, I think this one is very intriguing in the second start of the career with a race that I think provides a good foundation. At a slow start, you would have to think they worked on that. I'll put the 10 on top. Second slot, we'll look at the 11, Trading Trouble, Mike Maker runner that has to get in from the AE list, but is one deep, so doesn't need much help. But the career debut was certainly worth a look in this one, relatively speaking. And I rest my case in the third spot, a Bill Mott trainee. The lone sibling to race, Honorable Becky, won the career debut. This one ran okay in debut despite a little trouble. So I think this one's a player as well. I could point to 3 or 4 others in here where I probably have similar confidence, but I'm 10, 11, 6, and 7.
Now, Leinster, 2 things. One is I think held the course record that Cogburn took down.
Yeah, you might be right.
But more importantly, a couple of years ago, he won I believe it was the Troy in an upset, beat an odds-on horse. I was playing the bankroll. It was late on Sunday. We crushed it. And that was the race I think he set the then course record. How you left your man off the list, and I have him on top at 15-1, 2, 4, 6. It's, I'm just guessing with the firsters. Mike Deeney sends out this runner. Yes, I have a good workout at Monmouth, but a grandson of Disco Rico, and Disco partner. I got to take a shot sprinting state breds.
0 for 9 with firsters this year, though. So,
right. Okay, but this one, it was, and also sometimes it's like, yeah, but you're running against these horses. Maybe this is it.
And the Dan produced a sibling that won in the second start. So I looked at the horse.
And I always say, it says 64 for a buyer. I think maybe a 54 wins this race. And on debut, I'm taking the flyer. Miguel Clement sends out the 4 for Barry Schwartz, my second choice, Setting Sun. And then I rest my case for Bill Mott making the second career start. 2, 4, 6 in the 9th and final.
And so we're out of here before 6 o'clock. Bingo,
well,
bingo,
yes,
bingo.
that's that. Well, the thing to me is you get 9. The bettors get 9 flat races to bet.
It's gonna be a fun day, and again, a beautiful day as well. The morning
all coming together like a plan.
The morning is gorgeous. Clubhouse Racebook this week again throughout the Saratoga meet. It's been a lot of fun and continues today with the prize wheel at the Clubhouse Racebook. 711 Central Avenue in Albany. Go down, spin the prize wheel. Folks randomly selected all day to win a little extra something. Tomorrow it's the Play the Board contest at the Clubhouse Racebook. That's also always fun. Friday, it's the Players Bankroll. Team gets selected, and we dole out a race to each member of the team and some money to play, and then all the money is split up amongst the team at the end of the day. Players Bankroll, a lot of fun. That's Friday at the Racebook. Saturday, King of the Hill contest at the Clubhouse Racebook, but Saturday has some more action. It's the Bounty Bet. Play the late pick 5 at Saratoga. Play it with your Capital OTB bet account, and you are in for a shot at the Bounty. Saturday, it's also a fan appreciation day at our Queensbury branch. Again, mentioned it earlier. A lot of fun, always a good crowd up there. If you're a patron in that direction, stop by so we can say thank you to you on a fan appreciation day at the Queensbury branch on Saturday. And Sunday, it's going to be the Knockout Challenge at the Clubhouse Racebook. And I will also have another version of the Pick 3 Bankroll. And again, that is going to open up today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. But check the website for more information on that. All right. That takes you through that. Oh, and let me just update you. Coming up top of the hour, Jennifer Kelly is in the house. Author. Talk about a couple of her books and maybe some upcoming work as well. Tom Law from the Saratoga Special will jump in. Tom Amello with some horses to watch and more. And Humberto Chavez and Ramon Dominguez from the Racetrack Chaplaincy It's the jockey basketball game tonight, benefiting the chaplaincy and the PDJF. Always a lot of fun, so we wanted to tout that, as well as the chaplaincy brunch coming up a little bit later. All of that. Right,
Did Ramon Dominguez just run for 24 straight hours?
27 straight hours. We'll hit on that as well.
Unbelievable.
Last man standing, 112 miles.
Unbelievable.
4 miles every hour. The sooner you
miles.
finish, the more rest you get. But top of the hour, you got to line up again.
There you go. These days I go, ladies and gentlemen, as we bring the curtain down on the first half.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.